Welcome to the Back Catalogue Chris Cast. This is the Chris Cast where we, and by we I mean me, Chris, and my co-host / co-founder, Chris, we dive into the streaming service. We tell you, the listener and the viewer, what is the best Christmas movie to watch in 2023. Listen, we're going to get into this because it's the most wonderful time of the year and people want to be with their family, so we're going to get right into this. We are doing 2000's very own How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I'm going to give you some facts. We'll jump in. All right, is that okay with you? Chris, is that okay?
Yeah.
I can't find the facts. This has a 6.3 out of 10 on the IMDb. It has a 49% on the Rotten Tomatoes. And let me tell you, this is The Grinch starring Jim Carrey's very own Jim Carrey. I'll give you a synopsis. We'll jump in. Grinch lives in solitude just outside of Whoville. He hates the townsfolk and despises Christmas. Cindy Lou, a 6-year-old girl who believes in the spirit of the festival, sets out to reform him. That's rehabilitation, and we are here. Look, man, this is, it's the Chris Cast. It's Christmas time. It's the most wonderful time.
Did you have a wonderful time watching this movie?
Well, I mean, we'll get into that. So we're going to get into whether or not this is the one that you sit down with the family, you watch at the Christmas time. But also I have a theory. There's a theory that has popped into my head about this movie that I think expands it maybe beyond what one may have thought when watching it.
You're going to be pitching spin-offs. Is that what you're doing now?
I mean, this could... I might be saying that this is a surprise prequel to another film that we have done on the Back Catalogue podcast.
Oh, man. Is the surprise prequel to the same movie? Because you thought it was the sequel to another movie, to the same movie, but you thought it was another movie? Is this a Home Alone 2 versus Home Alone 2 situation?
I mean, I had to make sure that I'm watching the right movie this time. I just had to make sure. Because there's about 6-7 Grinch movies out there.
There are about 6-7 Grinch movies.
And I had to make sure this was the right one. But let's start off by just getting into, what we thought of the movie. The general synopsis is the Grinch, Jim Carrey's very own, he's living outside of Whoville up on top of a big mountain.
They're doing consumerism things in Whoville. Everyone's just getting presents out the wazoo. Mm-hmm. There's questions, hey, why are we getting all these presents?
That's the question they asked.
That's the question. Well, one person asked, the Cindy Lou.
Because Cindy Lou, see, you get the Whovillians, right? You get the Whoville individuals, and they're all a 10 out of 10 on This Is Christmas. We're all in here. We are all in, and then Cindy Lou is sort of that. Hey, look, these Whovilles, these people from Whoville are not human per se, but Cindy Lou's as close as we're going to get here. This is the character that you connect with the most because they're most normal.
Because I look at Cindy Lou and she got the hairdo. And we got the hairdos.
We got the hairdos, and I mean, she doesn't have the nose, which can just be off-putting.
I'm going to tell you right now, this is the worst movie. I cannot stand looking at these half dog, half human faces. I watched this movie on like 2 times speed. That's not a lie. That's not a lie. I couldn't do it. I got 10 minutes in. I'm looking at my brain can't handle that.
It's a lot. And it is a lot. And it's one of those movies where it's so much that as an adult coming into it. Now, as a child, 2000's very own, we were children then.
There's some things that just need to stay in animation.
Those sorts of faces, right? Yeah. And also just the energy. The energy. That energy of like, hey, it's Christmas all the time here, even though it's not all the time, but right now it's Christmas and everything is up to a 10 here. That was too much for me. Because, and as I said, you have Cindy Lou as she's the character that you connect with. So it didn't matter too much that you hate everyone from Whoville. But at the same time, it also mattered because they're 90% of this movie.
That's right. And there's so many of them running around all the time.
And there's some people that are like I'm talking about like they're in little toy cars, and then there's some people that are just regular size. It's wild.
And there's some people that have got hair on both sides of their head that are curled. So you add that to the nose. That's a no from me.
They're very interesting looking people, and they just. I think one of the hardest bits about it is not just their looks. Like obviously their looks, we're doing Uncanny Valleys here, but also I'm talking about their energy and their approach to life is too much.
Well, I mean, they rhyme a lot because that's Dr. Zeus.
They rhyme a lot, but also I thought like we were jumping into some like West Coast dramas here, because he like the mayor of Whoville said this person's 1 billion kilometers away, and I'm thinking like, is he trying to like represent one side versus the other? Like he's not saying. And I know that kilometers isn't a sea, but like this, like mayor's representing something.
I mean, it's sea adjacent, I guess.
It's sea adjacent.
That is funny.
You know, because it sounds, right?
But those words as well throw you.
Yeah.
They throw you because you're looking at them and they're obviously human with some prosthesis.
Yeah.
But they're looking odd, and then they're saying all these words. I just feel like it's too much. I can't do it, and I mean, you
checked out early. You checked out early. 5 minutes in, you checked out.
But I still had to watch the whole movie, so
because we've got a review to do.
That's right. Because I bumped up the speed. I did like 1.25. I think we gotta speed this up 1.5.
That would have been so annoying and just overwhelming at 2-point speed, because like they speak fast without that.
Well, I mean, at the end, because I mean, we'll get into this. We recorded 2 episodes essentially, so I watched 2 movies.
Yes,
and because my speed settings had translated to the next movie that they had stayed.
Yeah, and
that by the end of the Grinch, I'm going, this is easy. I could do this all day. And then the next movie came on. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah, because the next movie, I mean, we'll talk about that in January, but that's a slower. That's a slower paced film.
Slower paced movie.
Okay, so you didn't like the Whovillians, and I understand that. I totally understand now. Let's get into what you thought about Jim Carrey's very own. Like, did Jim Carrey carry the film?
I mean, Jim Carrey was fine. It was. Look, I wrote some things down because because we're doing 2 movies. I watched it a few days ago, and if he doesn't watch the movie the night before or the day of,
he won't remember.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I'm going to be saying, yeah, I like this movie. It's a 4. So the one thing that I liked about the Jim Carrey whole situation is when he was doing the echoes. That's the only thing I laughed at in this whole movie. He's going, how are you? And, oh, you're repeating everything I say. I'm an idiot. You're an idiot. That's the only thing I like. That's content. That's good. That's good quality.
What I think Jim Carrey does in this movie that's good is that he, like, obviously this is a very overwhelming film at times in regards to not the content, but in regards to just the energy that they're bringing. And Jim Carrey brings, Jim Carrey has to be bigger than the Whovillians, not only in stature but also in energy. And there's times in this movie where Jim Carrey will do something and you'll be like, oh man, this is just horrible. And then you go, actually, you know what? He's doing it for like 2 minutes longer and it's actually very funny now. There's the one where they've turned it into a meme where it's like when my mum says not to razz up the dog, and it's Jim Carrey just jumping at the camera, just going, arr, arr, like that. The initial time he does it, I'm not laughing. But then as it goes on, I thought it was hilarious. There's several moments like that. For example, the Whoville Whobilation, when the Grinch comes back to Whoville and he sees everyone. That scene, if the movie was just that scene, I'd have given it a 10 because I was laughing all throughout that scene.
This is homemade. Hey, yeah, mine's homemade as well. I made this at my house.
Dude, not only the pudding, but just like then he's involved in all these events.
It's the conga line.
He's in the conga line. He's running. He's bumping those kids over so they don't win. Oh, yeah. Dude, it was just absolute chaos for that little period, and I thought that was hilarious. Beyond that, it's too much for me. It was too much for me.
Yeah, there wasn't even that kind of stuff. It's whatever.
I will say the Whobilation, 100% vouch for the Whobilation.
You vouch for the Whobilation.
That was funny stuff. They did that well.
Yeah.
Now let's get because you got some more things. You want to say those things before I jump into the theories?
No, not really. I'm just. There's not really.
You haven't got. This movie hasn't done much.
This movie hasn't done it. The one thing is that I noticed that there's 1 minute closer to Christmas. There's a man up there keeping the time.
He's in the snow. He's keeping the time.
As in, he's changing the things. He's on the seat. He's changing the minutes.
Yeah, and minutes, not hours.
No, that's right.
Days.
So what's the process here? You can't work it out that Like you got a like a mounted machine gun that spits out Christmas lights, and you can't work out how to automatically change time.
So but I mean, look, man, Whoville, it looks like everyone has their place, everyone has their job.
They're going like, this guy's employed. We can't. What else are you going to do?
Like, how's he going to afford all the Christmas stuff if he's not employed? Right. And one other thing about Whoville, not only are they like into Christmas, but they swingers. They're doing swinging.
What?
They're doing swinging in this movie.
Where?
Like, I'm talking about swinging. Like, not like you at the park, you're having fun.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
The scene where the Grinch like comes into Whoville, where he's a baby, he's floating in on that umbrella, He comes down, he lands on a tree, they look inside, and the two mums are telling the story about how the Grinch, came to Whoville. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll have one of our big shindigs, our big parties. Heads chucking keys in fish bowls. And there's people like riding each other, like, smacking, doing all sorts of stuff. Like, but keys in fish bowls, that's swinging.
Well, I haven't been to a swinging event.
I mean, I haven't been to a swinging event, but I saw that Kia ad from when we were younger.
I haven't seen the Kia ad. But now if I'm going to a place and I see a fishbowl and there's more than one set of keys in there,
you got to leave, dude.
I'm exiting ASAP.
Because you put your keys in there, someone brings them out, that might not be your partner. That might be someone else.
Oh, that's what it is.
It's
not for,
I'm coming home with you.
Keys. Oh, jeez.
Like, this is who I'm coming home with. That's why in the Kia ad, she's looking around, she's looking at all the different keys. There's a man with the Kia key, and he's like, hey, grab that key. You know what I mean?
You want to be with the Kia.
You want to be with the Kia.
You want to be with the Kia.
You know what I mean?
You got like Lamborghinis, you got Ferraris, you got Maseratis, and then you're going like, no, the Kia.
You got to be with Kia.
Like, the Kia's for Mia.
And that could have been it. Now, let me get into the theory of this week.
I also want to know, did the Grinch have on their little baskets, are they named on the basket?
On the basket?
Yeah.
Oh, as in, okay.
So heads come in, they fly in. Oh, Marjorie, we've got a baby boy. I don't even like you enough to have a family. Which that's comedy for everyone. And I want to know if there's names on the basket, because who the hell is calling some head the Grinch?
I mean, they live in a place called Whoville.
Grinch. The Grinch.
I mean, he's Grinch.
Is it Grinch?
Is Grinch.
On his little
on his
placard on the desk, it was the Grinch.
No, because have a listen to this. Grinch lives. That's the synopsis. Grinch lives. And in the Grinch is not capitalized. So I'm talking about is Grinch. But then, is Grinch both a like describing word for the man and also his name?
Yeah, what's the last name?
Also, Grinch's penis should be hanging out. Like, he's naked in this movie.
No, but he's got the beer gut. It's hanging over it.
Yeah,
that's why.
But you do a couple different angles. He folds down at points.
You imagine if like that swinging. Because you see that man come down for the jubilation, you're sending him straight home,
dude. Because he's like, brother, there's children here.
Because he wears the overalls, but the overalls, I don't think they're.
Well, no, that's the thing though. He wears the overalls at the time, right?
Yeah,
that's fine.
But then they undress him.
But then there's times where he's not wearing overalls.
He's doing a Winnie the Pooh situation.
He's doing a Winnie the Pooh situation without a t-shirt.
And because like a man of that stature, he'd be swinging.
He'd be swanging, dude. You seen them fingers? He'd be swanging. So it's like in Kong Skull Island, where just Kong is standing in the middle, like standing there, all the helicopters flying in. You ain't seen nothing, but dude, that's a big old gorilla. You don't think you're going to see something?
I'm pretty sure gorillas they're
hidden somewhere.
They're hidden. They're also quite small compared to their.
I mean, they're big people. They're big things.
They're mass.
But you're talking about King Kong. This dude big as a skyscraper. Even if it's as big as a car, you're going to see it.
Right. Yeah, like a small flat.
Like if it's as big as a Kia, you're going to see it. Let me give you the theory. Okay.
This is the prequel.
This is the prequel theory.
This
is the prequel theory. So, and I need you to go with me on this, okay? Regardless, like this is one of those moments where I say, look, do you want
me to just
I got the body.
Be silence right now, and you just keep talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can add in stuff. That's fine. But this is that moment where I come to your house. There's someone in the trunk. I say, Vincent, it's happened. You got to help me out here. You just got to be 100% in.
I'm looking at the keys. There's a Kia. I'm closing the door.
There's a fishbowl there. You're like, no. Please no.
Come to my house and there's a fishbowl.
I think that the Grinch, this movie, is either a prequel or an inspiration for Midsummer. Now, I'm going to get into this. Okay? We have an individual who's has experienced some trauma in their time. Okay, we got the Grinch on one side, we got Florence Pugh on the other side. We got a person who, amongst all these other people, is almost vilified for their behavior based on what they experienced. You got Grinch here. He had that moment with the shaving incident. He comes out. He goes to the mountaintops. You've got Florence Pugh's very own. All the people around her are just garbage people, so they just expect that she is the villain of the situation. They think that she's the bad person in the situation. Someone brings them in. A kind-hearted person, Sulu who, and the man's from Midsummer. Bring him in. Say, hey, listen, just come on down. It's all fun. They're all lovely people there. They're going to accept you. They're going to get involved with all this stuff. Florence Pugh goes to that space. She starts being involved in all sorts of rituals and traditions. She's being fed food. Grinch is being fed pudding. He's being fed all this. After all these experiences, Grinch may have been fed some. One man says, hey, this is not pudding. This ain't pudding.
So this ain't pudding, but I'm putting it in your mouth.
He's getting drugged, right? Florence Pugh's getting drugged. Then they're out there running around things, right? They're doing running arounds. They're
running around trees as well.
They're running around trees as well.
Well, I mean, it's not technically a tree in Midsummer, but
it looks like
it's
a tree, right?
adjacent.
They're then... It's a challenge. You have to be the last one standing. What does the Grinch do? He comes out, bang, bang, knocks those people out, wins the race. What do they put on his head? Like a flower crown. The Grinch becomes the, what was it called? The Flower Queen, much like Florence Pugh. And then you think that's as far as you can take it, right? That's as far as you can take it. I can take it a bit further. Grinch, let's just approach it with some openness, with some, what's the word I'm looking for? You got to approach it with an open heart here. The Grinch burns down the tree. Later in Midsummer, there's something that burns down as well, and that's the last link I had. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? By the end of the movie, the Grinch and Florence Pugh, people that did not want to be in this space, they didn't want to be in this space. They are now amongst the community and a valued member of the community. The Grinch didn't just steal Christmas. The Grinch stole the hearts of the Whovillians. And so did Florence Pugh. That's why I think... I mean, we should have ended there. We should have ended there. See, I was on the same wavelength there.
That's all right. But you hit me with the Midsummer and the Grinch. I mean, I can't refute that.
And we put that as a thumbnail, like that might get hits.
That's money in the bank.
That's money in the bank, dude. Let's give it a rating, then we'll get out of here.
I'll give it a rating for, I don't know, 3.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with that. We're going to give it 3. That's the back catalogue rating.
But I mean, the Grinch had a moustache at 8 years old, and so did I. So maybe a 4. Maybe a 4, just because that's some resonance there.
The Grinch had a moustache, and so did Chris.
Talk soon.